Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are all doing well. Manchester United have won at Craven Cottage thanks to a late Lisandro Martinez goal and thanks to a little bit of luck involved with that as well. The goal will go to Lisandro Martinez, who was Manchester United's man of the match at the end of the game. But also, it took a huge deflection on its way into the goal. The goalkeeper even got a touch on it as well as it went over him and into the back of the net. But it was always going to be a goal like that won this game here at Craven Cottage today, because both teams were pretty poor. I mean, you can't really write home much in terms of shots on target, even corners for both teams. It was a real strange one. And I looked at one of these XG accounts, I think it's XG Philosophy on Twitter, sorry if I've got the name wrong, and they calculated that it was the lowest scoring XG match in 2 seasons. And watching it, it really did feel that way as well. Now look, Man United could have had a second goal at the end of it. We had one disallowed for Amad Diallo through an offside. And when you look at it, they're both in line with each other. But because the defender's arm is back and they calculate it from the defender's shoulder rather than from his arm and all those kind of things, it's where you can play the ball, it meant it was offside. But both players are clearly in line with each other. Old-fashioned offside rules, that counts. But obviously, it's a new age, it's a new era, VAR, they like to fanny with things and mess around with things. And in the end, that goal doesn't count. But the goal should have stood because Amad Diallo was in line with the defender. Nevertheless, despite that decision, and despite the fact we needed Toby Collier to keep one going in from off the line, Manchester United got over the line with 3 points and we moved to the dizzying heights of 12th. But that performance overall was pretty bad for us today. And I've got to say, there's a few key positions where we're really lacking in at the moment. And one is up top in terms of Rasmus Højlund. I think I read a stat earlier which said he's scored he's not scored in 36 of the 48 Premier League games he's played in. And I didn't realise it was that bad. I think because it's been scoring away in Europe quite a few times, his Europa League record's quite strong. His Champions League record was quite strong for us last season as well. Because he's been scoring in Europe, we haven't kind of noticed that his goal scoring record in the Premier League has been so poor. And look, I think he's a better striker than what we're seeing at the moment. I think the team could also create more goals for him. I think when you look at goal conversion rates and the chances that he gets, his goal conversion rate is quite high. But I also think he could do more to earn and create some of those chances for himself. Sometimes a really good striker can make a bad pass look like a good one. Now, I'm not saying that he needs to turn every bad pass into a good one, but you can do so much more as a striker, whether it's your runs across the box, across the defender, across the goalkeeper, whether it's holding the ball up and bringing others into play, which would then allow your team to move further up the pitch and allow your team to create more chances for you. He has to do better. And his hold-up play today, he's far too busy trying to grapple and fight with defenders that he's not taking control of the ball. And you need to do more than that. And look, I'm someone that's not as harsh on him as I've seen some people be on him. But you've got to do better, brother. And you've got to be better than you were today. I like Rasmus Højlund, but the facts are we've got a player that's learning his craft, a young player learning his trade, who's Manchester United's main man. And that needs to stop. That needs to stop. Do you know what I mean? Unfortunately, we're in this position. Joshua Zirkzee and Rasmus Højlund, both of them are probably better suited to being second strikers, to being the second man for Man United. But right now, they're the main man. And that's a big problem that we're facing. I do think when Joshua Zirkzee comes onto the pitch, though, and look, bear in mind, 3-4 weeks ago, he was booed off the pitch at Old Trafford. But I do think when he comes onto the pitch, his first touch is usually better. His hold-up play is a lot better. And he brings others into play better, which means we can get further up the pitch, which means our central midfielders can get further up the pitch, which means our attacking players can hold positions and try and create chances further up the pitch. At the moment, we're just not doing it enough. And that's why I think Joshua Zirkzee is probably a better person to start in place of Rasmus Højlund, because it's just not working for him at this moment in time. But he's a young lad. He needs to learn his trade. But the manager needs a number 9 who's ready to go. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like Rasmus Højlund is that at this moment in time. I don't think he was the only one to blame today. But it was a big problem for us in terms of holding the ball up and keeping it higher up the pitch when Rasmus Højlund was simply not doing that. And I felt like when Joshua Zirkzee came onto the pitch, it allowed us to be further up the pitch. It allowed Diogo Dalot to cut inside, Amad Diallo to hold his wider positions. It allowed all those different things to happen, which will happen in your third, fourth phase of play. And we're not getting to see them while Rasmus Højlund is on the pitch. So he needs to improve. He needs to get better. And unfortunately, we don't know whether he's going to have the time to do that. Will we get to the summer and Amorim thinks, you know what, I'd rather cut my losses on this guy and get in a new striker? I don't know. You can't guarantee anyone's place at the moment. Let's talk about Alejandro Garnacho leaving. And I think Alejandro Garnacho today was one of our better players. That's not to say he was 8, 9, 10 out of 10. I think he was a 6.5, 7 out of 10. But it shows you how bad those players were around him. And look, when I look at our team, I think there's question marks over Onana, which I wouldn't have said a month ago. But I do think my opinion's slowly changing on that one. But in terms of the centre-backs, I think our centre-backs are good. I think we could do with a wing-back. I think we could do with a striker. I think we could do with some cover in midfield, you know. Casemiro and Christian Eriksen are just kind of dead weight at the moment. But I think when you look at the selection of Ugarte, Maino, Bruno, Collier in terms of the midfield too, I think when you look at, you know, Amad Diallo, I think is a good player. You know, Garnacho, I think is a good player. Yes, we need some more options in terms of those wider positions. I don't think we've actually got bad players in terms of in some of those positions. It's just some key areas where we're missing them. And I think the wing-back position and I think the striker position is really key to Ruben Amorim's teams working. Especially if you've not got a striker who's not holding the ball up. Or if you have got a striker who's not holding the ball up. Sorry, that's a double negative. I'm a little bit ill, as you can probably tell. I got the man flu. It's not feeling good today. Watching this game didn't help me feel any better. Obviously, seeing Lisandro Martinez's shot end up in the back of the net did make me feel a little bit better. But ultimately, it's abysmal stuff from Manchester United. And we need to improve. We need to get better. It's good that we got the result. It's good that we got our first clean sheet in 14 games, is it? It's good that all those things have happened. Hats off to Toby Collier for his goal line clearance as well. It's good that we're in this position. But ultimately, it's not good enough, is it? It's just not good enough. And Manchester United need to be improving, need to be getting better. And hopefully we will do that. But at the moment, we just need to keep ticking off the wins. Getting better, improving. And who knows where that can take us. But the performances need to be better. The manager needs to bring in some players of his own. And yeah, it was a bad watch today. Tough watch. I don't know how that away end was bouncing for so long. Hats off to our away fans because they're absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. And they keep going right to the end. They deserve that win today more than anyone really did. But it was just good to get that win because Fulham are a decent side with some good players. But yeah, we got over the line. Anyway, let us know your thoughts. Let us know how you're feeling. Let us know your comments in the comments below. Make sure you keep it like, comment, share, subscribe. Until the next one, I'm AdamMcKola. I'm out of here.